Welcome back. This is going to be a pretty exciting day, with hopefully some big highlights. When I wake up, this is the view I have out over Philadelphia from my room. But I don't have much time to enjoy it, because I've got to get going early in the morning. I'm getting on a train and then a bus, and heading for Glenside, Pennsylvania. I'm heading to Keswick Village, and tonight I'll be watching a concert from rock and roll royalty at the historic old Keswick Theatre. After taking trains and buses, I can now welcome you to Keswick Village. It is a quaint, charming English Tudor-style neighborhood centered around the historic Keswick Theatre in Glenside, Pennsylvania. I got here early to try to catch a glimpse and hopefully a signature of a true mountaintop rock legend. I'm here to see the great Dion DiMucci. I'm heading straight to the theater to see if I can figure out where he might be coming in at, and if he might be doing a sound check soon. And here is the historic Keswick Theatre now. I made a sign in hopes of getting his attention, and it did get his driver's attention, who told me that he wouldn't be in for a few hours. So, that gives me time to check out the village and tell you a bit about it, as well as telling you a bit about Dion himself. This is Keswick Theatre, which the village is centered around. It was designed by the architect Horace Trumbauer, who is responsible for many other buildings, including being the co-designer of the famous Philadelphia Museum of Art. The Keswick Theatre was established back in 1928 as a vaudeville house, and it still has that incredible old-school theater look inside and out. Then this whole village was built around it in 1929. This theater is widely known as one of the most acoustically perfect rooms in the entire state. It was almost torn down and demolished in the 1980s, but the community saved it. Thank goodness they did, because decades later, it's the perfect venue to host rock royalty. And now it's on the National Register of Historic Places, so it's not going anywhere. Right over there, just past that bridge, is where I waited for Dion to come in. Now, as I show you a bit more around the village, let me tell you more about what makes Dion so special. Okay, so Dion started out in the late 1950s, with a couple of backup singers he picked to form the group Dion and the Belmonts. Then, after a couple of years, he went solo. Some of his bigger hits include I Wonder Why, Teenager in Love, The Wanderer, Runaround Sue, Abraham Martin and John, and many, many more. He was inducted into the Rock and Roll Hall of Fame way back in 1989. He was one of the headliners for one of the most famous tours in history, the Winter Dance Party Tour in early 1959. That's the famous plane crash that became known as the day the music died. It's what that 1970s song American Pie was about. On February 2nd, 1959, Dion, Buddy Holly, Ritchie Valens, and the Big Bopper performed in Clear Lake, Iowa as part of that tour. Because it had been so cold, Buddy Holly decided to charter a small plane, which Dion decided not to go on and have his seat go to Ritchie Valens because he didn't want to pay $36 and because Ritchie wasn't feeling well. The plane crashed in the bad weather just a few miles away from takeoff, killing all three performers and the pilot. Dion didn't find out until the bus arrived in the next city the next morning. Dion is a Mount Rushmore figure for rock and roll. To think that he was on the Winter Dance Party Tour in 1959, survived that tragic night, and is still here in 2026, delivering incredible shows, is mind-blowing. He didn't just witness the birth of rock and roll, he helped shape its DNA. And his life is about to become a Broadway play called The Wanderer. There are very few legends from that era left, so this is definitely an honor. Here's the actual poster from that famous Winter Dance Party Tour of 1959. Dion is the only one of these four legends that survived, and here I am getting to see him all these years later. Now it's time for lunch and a bathroom break. Finding a place to eat around here is not at all difficult. There are plenty of choices. However, finding a place to use the bathroom, that's another matter. For eating, I chose to go to PrimoHoagies, right across the street from the theater, and I had this chicken parm sandwich. Not bad. And for the bathroom, I chose to walk around in circles, hoping it would just go away. So, after eating lunch, I went back and waited for Dion some more. His driver thought he was going to come in around 3 something. But he never ended up doing a sound check, so he actually didn't come in until about 20 minutes before the show started. Just a little before 8 p.m. Then they drove him straight up to the door and rushed him right in. So that was definitely disappointing after waiting there all day. But regardless, it was time to go into the concert now. At long last, it's time to go inside this historic theater and check out what the inside looks like. There's also a 1928 theater organ inside, but I won't be hearing that today, as I'm going to a rock concert. Here is his merch booth. Here, people are filing into their seats before the show. Dion performed many of his biggest hits. It's hard to believe he will be 87 years old in just a few weeks. In my GoPro, it's a little bit hard to see him from this far away, but the acoustics are great. You can definitely hear him well.
I love it, I love it, I love it. It's a privilege, it's an honor to be here. I got a song here. You got a minute?
After the show, I figured waiting was probably pretty pointless. Considering his age, and just performing a full set, there was a big crowd, and it was getting late. But I figured, what the heck. Before the show, there wasn't very many people, but after the show, there was a big crowd. But I thought I might as well go out and see the legend leave anyway. So I couldn't believe it when the security guard came out and said for everybody to line up, and he was going to sign one autograph for everyone. I was so excited I forgot to record anything or take any pictures. But I was able to get a nice older lady that was just standing around watching to get my album signed for me. So I had him sign the Runaround Sue album, and I was able to get my American Bandstand card signed myself. He was signing everything in a black Sharpie, and since my card is dark, I asked him if he would sign mine with a silver paint pen I had, and he did it for me. In fact, he held both pens in the same hand while signing. I told him how far I'd come to see him, and he was a very nice guy. Here's my card he signed for me. I think it came out beautifully in the silver paint pen. What an exciting moment, and I didn't even care the fact that I'd gotten no sleep almost in the last couple nights, and my flight was just hours away, so I was going to get almost no sleep tonight either. That moment made it all worth it. Thank you, Dion, and may you rock for many more years to come.